we'll be going over how to add purchases. So right here, if I click on purchases, I would see that I have no purchase, nothing has been done. Purchases, as you know, are items that you like to keep inventory of, right? So you would obviously want to be able to have added them into your store. They'll have to be in your store. So right now, I cannot add any purchase because I've not added items to the store. All right, so the first thing would be to add items to your store, which is very simple. There are different ways. One of them is to add them one after the other. So you could come in here and say add new item, and put in all the necessary information. Select the category of the item. You can say, okay, this is for example, right? And goat meats are measured per piece. And so since you're setting up, you should know how many quantity of this you already have in your store, right? The cost price not necessary. Selling price is also not entirely necessary, but yeah. And if it's for sale, you select for sale. If it's not, you can leave it. And if you want the system to always alert you when it's low on stock, you do that, right? So if you click on this, so we have this as one of the items. So what this means is whenever we want to create a purchase, you would see goat meat right here. Okay. However, this can be difficult if you're adding these items one after the other. So another way is to add them in bulk, right? So we come to the import items here. We'll download the sample file. We open it here, so you can see there are different items here. You can replace everything that is here with your own items, right? You can replace them with your own items. So I can actually delete all of this, right? But I'm just going to leave it just for demo purposes, but then I can add more if I want. So this is how you do, which is quite simple. So let's say I want to add detergent, right? Detergent is one of the items you have in the store for the housekeepers, I guess. And I would select housekeeping. And if you notice, these are the different categories for items there. So right here, I would say it's in pieces because there are items like that. And if I don't have any detergent, really, I can leave it as empty. And it's not for sale. It's actually an item that is used for other things. So I'll go ahead. Yeah, I'll just save this. Then I'll come back here and I'll select that same file and I'll upload it back in. So you see now I have all of these items now. The ones I just added, they're all in there. So now we'll go back to how to add purchases. So we're now trying to add purchases on any of the items that we have in our store, right? So let's say goat meat was purchased, right? I would select 10 and they sold it at 1.5 per piece, per portion or piece, however you guys measure it. And I can select this as a food category, right? I can add extra items. So chicken, you guys also bought chicken. So say chicken was at 1,800 per piece, right? So this is how simply it is to add the purchase. If there's a supplier that supplied it, you can still supply. If you don't have a supplier, you can add, right? And you can add the mode of payment, right? If this was paid for immediately, you can add it, right? You can say, okay, 42,000 was paid. Select the mode of payment. Let's say it was transfer. The date. Now the bank account. So why this would not work is because you have to initiate an instant all your bank accounts, and there needs to be money inside for this to work. So because there's no money in the bank, I'm just going to save this purchase, right? And it would say not paid. However, if I need to add a payment to this, I would need to come over here to my bank account, and I would create a new bank account. Right, let's say the bank account name is depending on what maybe your hotel name is, Venus Hotel. So this is the account name. Let's say this is with Access Bank. Access Bank is one of our favorite banks here. You can put the account number. This just helps you to keep track, and whatever balance you have in the bank account, you would want to put it, because for you to spend from this bank account, if you're doing a purchase or expense or anything, there needs to be money in it. So you can initialize it with whatever amount is there, right? Or if you don't know it, you can just put in an amount that you feel will be enough for the expenses and purchases you're going to be running around doing. Okay, so I've added that. So now I have two bank accounts. This is the default cash account. You don't need to worry about it. It's always there once your account is created, and any cash payment goes to the default cash account. So if I come back here to my purchases, I can add payment, right? So for the 2000, it says for the 2000, and it was to transfer, and I'll select the one I just created now. Okay, save that. See, now it's all paid. Okay, if you want to add, you can add the payment inside here as well if you want. Okay, and if there was a mistake, you can delete this payment and add it once more. So yeah, that's how simple it is to add purchases. The same thing goes for expenses. However, with expenses, you don't need to add the items to the store, because expenses are things like, let's say, diesel that you need to use to run the place. So for this, you can actually type it, right? You can type them, and I think this will fall under electricity, right? If there's a supplier, you select the supplier and the rate you bought it. Right now, diesel in Nigeria is about so let's say you bought 100 liters and it's 1,000. I think some people sell 1,100. So let's say, okay. And if there was a payment as well, you can add. And as before, you can add multiple items. So let's see, 110,000. This was paid through transfer to the filling station, and I'll select the bank it was paid from. Okay, and I would go ahead and save. There it is. There's the date and all of that. As I said before, you can delete this. If there was a mistake with this entire record, you can delete it. If there's a mistake with the payment, you can delete it and then add it back. All right, that's how you add purchases, and that's how you add expenses. If you want to see all your expenses and you're looking for an expense or something, you come to this area that says expense. Okay, let me just take it back. Yeah, recent expenses. These are the recent expenses, but then if you click on view all, you'd see all your expenses, and then you can search. If you want to see how much you bought this the last time, you can just search and come up, or anything at all, maybe your salaries or something, they will come up. And if you want to see a summary of what has happened the previous month or a particular month, this helps you do that. So you can filter, right? If you filter, so this is just for this month anyway. If you click on it, it will show you more about what was spent on that day. Okay, so this works for expenses and also for purchases. Thank you so much.